So today, I will be sharing my bullying story, and let me take you back a little bit because I didn't even think I'll ever sit down to share this on my channel because I sort of thought it was irrelevant because I forgave the people in question. I forgot about it. I'm doing much better in life than 90% of that group that bullied me. But today, as I was in my psychology unit class, our lecturer, let me call the lecturer Dr. A, was explaining to us on what perceptual set means. And this is something that it's oh my god, I'm losing words. Perceptual set is your perception as a human being, as me, as Bella, as you, as whoever, how you perceive things, but it is subconsciously. It's not something you choose. It's something that is subconscious because it's in the back of your mind. Actually, let me tell you, all the traumas you go through in your life, don't ever think it's just trauma. Let me tell you, in one or another, it will influence your choices future in life, and also if you allow it. But for me, I'm seeking treatment, I'm going through psychological therapy. I'm good, I'm not complaining, but I was feeling kind of challenged to come here and share this with you because it's very important, so that if anybody has ever gone through bullying, just know it's not normal, but you can move past it if you put in the effort and have a good support system, and also validate yourself. It is not your fault you are bullied. It's not your fault those people were mean at you. It's not your fault they hit you, because I've had bullying stories that have gone to an extent of hitting, which one of mine can touch on that, but it wasn't like that physical. But I was like, you know what, let me share. So for this particular case of study, let's call it case of study, I don't want it to be a pity party. I don't want it to be like people saying I'm looking for attention. Actually, let me put this disclaimer: this is not my story. It's a case that I took from a movie, okay? I don't know the characters. They don't know me. I'm not mentioning anybody. So if the shoe fits, please wear it. If it doesn't, mind your business. Because I know there are people in this life who are so idle, who want to create unnecessary drama for people. And that is what nowadays I avoid. I don't engage in, these small issues. I don't. So the reason why for me I felt it was important is because I've realized currently, even through my therapy sessions, I've realized I've become like a tortoise. A tortoise, sorry. So a tortoise, when a tortoise is walking and you touch it, when it's walking, it's outside the shell, but the shell is still on top. When it's walking and then you touch it, it will stop and go back to its shell. That's how I've realized I am, due to the trauma that I've accumulated over the 22 years I've lived. Because on the bullying part, it has affected heavily my friendships. I'm not able to keep friends. I'm not able to make friends because in the back of my mind, I am scared. I am scared that I will get a similar betrayal I got from another person. And if I proceed to be friends with someone, from the first mistake they do, I take it as a red flag and I literally ghost them or just run away, because it brings up trauma that I've gone through, and it reminds me of situations whereby I sit down and I'm like, if I listened to my inner voice, if I listened to my sixth sense, if I understood and so this is a red flag, I would not have ended up being hurt the way I was hurt by some individuals in my life. So you see where I'm coming from? Yeah. So the first scenario is, I was in grade 6. I can't say I was tiny, but the bully in my story, was a boy, a very, very tall boy, a Sudanese boy. You guys, if you've met Sudanese, you know they have the genes of height. They are tall. They are tall. I don't even think a Sudanese will fit coming through my door without bending. It's that serious. So this guy, let me call him a boy because that time he was a boy. I don't even remember his name. I don't remember his face, but I only remember how he made me feel, what he did, and the actions that I took at that moment. So I was in grade 6. I was actually new in that school. I was, trying to familiarize myself with the environment, with the teachers, with the other students, my classmates, the school, the routine and everything. It's a lot. moving from one environment to another, it's a lot for a child, actually, because I was a child, ne? I was 11 years. So this boy was sitting behind me. Like, our class, throughout that school, we never had so many classmates. Actually, remember, by the end of our course, or the curriculum, we were studying to wind up kindergarten school, we were 10. You can imagine. So from grade 6 we reduced, we were, I think, 15, nini. So till we were ending our time in that school, whatever that means, guys, ne? So this boy was sitting behind me, I was sitting in front of him. I had other two people sitting in front of me, because we were like 3-4 rows. We were not so many, remember, we were so few. So this boy would constantly step on me, because he's tall, his feet stretches across my chair, stretches across his desk. He's sitting, his desk, my chair, past my desk. And it wasn't like a decency of he's trying to make me understand that he's tall and everything. It was like a disturbance, because anytime he would push the legs, he will step on me. I remember we used to wear, I think, red socks. They were not white. I almost said white. They were red socks. But regardless, red, you can easily spot if someone hasn't washed the socks. If the socks is dirty, you can see it, because it was a bright red. It wasn't a dark red. So this boy would constantly step on me, and he would do it and laugh. It was like intentional. It was intentional, because I remember I would even cry, because I was scared of him, because he was taller than my dad. I'd never seen anybody that tall in my life, mind you. Okay, so I was scared of him. I didn't feel I had a voice, because I didn't know, I wasn't that familiar with the school. So I was thinking, okay, what do I do? I swear, guys, by the time I even cried, he had done it so many times that I used to feel out of place. Anytime I will come back to class, I always remember, I'm back here to be stepped on. And he will even go to an extent of pushing my head. Now he's sitting behind me. You can imagine he's doing that. When I turn and just tell him, please stop stepping on me, he continues, and he's stepping on me in a painful manner. Remember, he's huge, he has a big leg, he has shoes. So he was stepping on me, pushing my head. And I remember, let me say thank you to that teacher. I don't even remember her name, but she was our English teacher. I felt safe with her. I don't know if it's because I was performing or participating much in the English lesson, but I felt so safe with her, and she was actually our class teacher at that time. But later on, she moved out of the school. I don't know where, like transfers and all those shenanigans. So I felt safe going to tell her, because I was like, I can't continue like this. Like, it was literally affecting me. It was affecting me, because as a child, like right now, if someone does such kind of shit to me, I can actually take it to the police. But when I was young, I didn't feel like I don't know, for some reason I felt like, and it's something that even carried and allowed even the other bullying experiences to occur, because I felt like I had no voice, and I felt like I'm going to be too much if I start reporting. I didn't want to be those students who are always like, ule anapendanga kusema watu kwa teacher. I didn't like that, because I used to see students who are like that. Any little thing they're taking you to the teacher, I didn't want to be part of that. But this one was so tough, and I actually cried one time, and I didn't even go for a meal. I don't remember if it was lunch or break time. I didn't go for that meal, because I was left lying on my locker crying, because I was like, how do I handle this? Then the teacher came in, and she was like, okay, why are you not going for the meal and everything? And then I was like, so and so is always nini. I broke down. That day I broke down. Guess what? She had me, guys. Let me tell you, if you see someone going through depression or going through anything emotional, the most important thing they want to hear is just, having that earring. Just know that someone is listening. That is so important than even the actions that will be taken after. Because the response, if you show them that, you are validating the way they are feeling, you're validating they have been wronged, that's the first step to healing. Because, anyway, let's not I'm digressing. So, the teacher took action. The teacher punished the boy. The boy never did that again. Actually, I think the teacher shuffled us, and he was no longer even close to me. Like, I don't know even which side of the class he was taken, but for me that felt like a relief, because I was like, this is not right at all, guys. So case study number 2, which is the main case study that actually came to my mind today in that class that I was sitting and listening to the lecturer, sorry. So this happened in the same school. Mind you, it's the same school. Around grade 7, grade 8, I was around 11, 12 years. I hadn't even started my period. I was so young, guys. I swear, if I look at that girl right now, I actually consider that girl a winner, because anyway, I'm digressing. sorry. So let me make it simple by not, because I don't even remember some of their names, some of their faces. That's how irrelevant they are to me right now. And actually, I'm so happy I moved past that bullshit, because it was too much to carry. So let me start with the main character in this story, because she was the, what do we call it? She was like the pioneer of my bullying. Like, she's the reason why all that happened. Because I remember, let's call her Tissue. She doesn't have a good name anyway. Let's call her Tissue. So Tissue was my friend, was my classmate. She was also my neighbor. At that time where we were living, she was my neighbor. Then in our class we were about 10 students. I told you, the more we progressed to the next class, the fewer we became, because that school had a policy of, if you're always failing, you will repeat, or you just go look for another school. Luckily for me, I was smart child. I'm always smart. So we progressed. So we in grade 7. It happened actually twice, and it was the same pattern. But anyway, so Tissue was always in the bottom of the class. Let's start from there. It's always these dumb people who are always doing dumb shit. You'll never find a smart person doing dumb shit. Ever. So she was always at the bottom of the class. And I think for her, right now that I see it, right now that I'm, grown up, I see it like it was a cry for help, a cry for attention. Because she didn't have a common area or a common thing to discuss with the rest of us. Because I remember, we were 10 students, we were 10 pupils. That time we were called pupils. We were 10 pupils. 5 of us were very smart, and the 5 were really stragglers. She was among the bottom 5. The bottom. If she wasn't number 9, she was number 10, 10, 10, and 10. You get it? So for her to come into this group, to even get a common discussion, she used me. I was the scapegoat. That's what I have come to realize. I was the scapegoat, So she started it randomly, because I remember there's a day I came to class and I realized nobody is talking to me. Even like, I'm looking at her and I'm like, hey, she's just staring at me. I'm looking and I'm like, I couldn't understand. Guys, I couldn't understand what was going on, because in my head I'm just like, what is happening? I didn't wrong anyone, And I came to find out later. Not that I found out that time. I found out later. Hey, after the pain, after the suffering. So I'm like, okay, this is awkward. Then I was like, pushing through, because I'm a bit confused. I don't know what's happening. So this Tissue, let me try to cut the story short so that you don't have much confusion, because I can start creating suspense and I lose myself in the story. So this Tissue, what she will do, or what she had started doing, was she would go, so the 5, let's talk about the big 5. Let's call us the big 5 and the small 5. In the big 5, the small 5, actually I don't remember even some of them. I just remember Tissue and another one, I don't remember, whatever. Tissue and her group, let's call it Tissue and her group. So me, I was part of this Chopi's group, So there was this guy who was always at the top position, number 1. Let's call him Giraffe, because he was actually tall. Then there was another boy, a very short boy. Let's call him Zacchaeus. Then there was me, remember? So it is Giraffe, Zacchaeus, me. Then there was, what name should we give this one? Let's call her Shoe. Shu. Then the other one was, what do we call her? Let's call her Broom. So Broom, Shu, Giraffe, and Zacchaeus were among the big five. So this Tissue came to this group and started feeding them with information that I am always bad mouthing them. You understand? I'm always bad mouthing them. She said very nasty things. Actually, I can't even share here on camera. It will be very, very embarrassing for them, because it was not about me, because all those things were made up. There was no back, front, bottom of that story, because it was all lies. So she will come to that group just to, kujipendekeza, because now what else does she have to show for herself? She's always at the bottom of the class anyway. So she will badmouth me to them, say that I always say this. I even said, now, among those five, I was the only one who was not in a relationship. The other two, Zacchaeus was dating Shu, was dating Broom, Giraffe was dating Shu. I hope I've not forgotten. Yeah. So I was the only one who was not dating. So she will come and say things like, oh, I'm planning to destroy their relation. And I'm like, why are they even there today? Let me tell you, if you don't see the bigger picture in life, you'll always be the loser. Let me tell you for free, you'll always be the loser. You'll always be crowded in the things that are happening right now, because that is all that matters to you. So it happened like for a whole week. They will not talk to me. I will actually, let me tell you guys, it affected me, because I remember every day I will go home and cry, because I could not understand. I would even go write letters to them, but not give them, because I'm like, in these letters I'm apologizing, but I don't know what exactly I'm apologizing for. When someone ghosts you, sometimes you're confused, especially if you didn't wrong them. If you know you didn't wrong them, it's just a matter of what is happening. Do I deserve this? Because I remember I used to really, really feel bad when I was, when our nanny would wake me up to go to school. I will feel so bad. If it was me that time, I would say I was depressed. But for me, at that point, I felt like I was feeling so bad and sad, because I felt so unwanted. I felt so rejected. I felt so unneeded. And I'm like, why is nobody telling me what I have done? Do you know how stressful that is for a child? And even, anyway, so it happened. And the most interesting part was, Tissue was, once in a while talking to me. Now, with this brain I have right now, I've come to realize she will talk to me so that she can validate her story, so that she could now say, because I was told later the things that were happening. So she will talk to me, even just have a brief discussion with me, maybe trying for tea. She's there to me, hi, then she just leaves me again, not talk to me the whole of the day. But during that day, she's going to say that during the time we talked, I said this and this, which were lies. You get, guys, hey. So of course nobody was talking to me, literally, because now when the big five comes together with the small five, whomst am I? What chance do I stand in that? 9 people against you, that's a lot. So I remember there's something that even sparked that memory today in the morning in that class. Is I remember, because of them keeping quiet and giving me the silent treatment, psychological and emotional trauma and torture, because that was not bullying where someone was pinching me, whereby I would go to my dad and be like, so and so beat me, hit me, do something. This was just about things that I couldn't understand as a child, because I wasn't, like, it was just too much to handle. So I remember at one time, so they will keep quiet, they will give me that silent treatment for like a week, the following week, like it's something that will happen once in, like this week, we skip like 3 weeks, then I'm giving that silent treatment again, and I was like, anyway, to hell. So I remember there's a time I was in class, and then our teacher of English at that time, who was also our head teacher, why lie? Let me speak it out because it's the truth. She gave us an assignment to do as groups. So obviously there were 2 groups, the big 5, the small 5. Guys, do you know everybody separated to sit in their groups? I was just left sitting at my seat. Picture that. Hey, wait. So I'm sitting there because nobody's talking to me. I'm just like, why should they even drag my chair there? Because nobody will talk to me. Like, literally, even at that point, I was already used to people not talking to me. I was even just surviving on my own, doing my work, just attending class, going to eat meal alone. It was too much. Guys, I swear, I remember I told my therapist, these people owe me an apology. But you know what I've come to realize? Forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you, because the moment you don't forgive someone, you are taking poison, expecting them to die. Because I can tell you, up to date, most of those people don't even remember they did that to me. They don't. Anyway, child, we move. So I'm seated there alone. So the groups are two. They are discussing the questions, and I remember the teacher came in. And she literally slapped me, shouted at me, and be like, who do you think you are that you cannot join other people and I've given an assignment to do group? Let me tell you, that teacher, I honestly, I know. You can't be a teacher and you're always violent with your students. That is not the way to go. That is so wrong in so many levels, because I don't understand. There's a difference between punishing someone and dehumanizing someone. Because at that moment, I needed someone. She could have come, anyway. I would have preferred if she called me to the office, and I would actually have cried and opened up, because my tears were always here. Let me tell you, we are going to move to the part that what broke the camel's back, and even got physical and aggressive. So she shouted, slapped me, and I remember I just took my chair, sat there. They laughed at me. They didn't still talk to me despite what had gone on, because it was their fault. It wasn't mine. It wasn't. After that, they just, I took my chair back, moved to the next lessons. Life moved on. But now what broke the camel's back is they progressed to a point of, talking about me in a loud manner that I could hear they're talking about me. If I come from break time, or maybe, I've come from break time, I found everybody seated. I will find them talking. Then when I come, they are silent. Guys, let me tell you, I swear, if they will do that to me today, hey! But they can't do that to me today, because you're not on the same level. Anyway, so I remember it happened, and it aggravated me to a point that, because I remember lessons were ending around 4, but because we are on the upper classes, the upper classes will remain like for an extra 1 hour. I remember Zacchaeus. I don't know what comment Zacchaeus made about me, and I was actually standing up to leave to go home. I literally picked up a desk. It wasn't mine, I remember. I think it was, I don't know who was not in school, but it was an empty desk. I don't even remember if it was carrying books, but I remember I took it and threw at his face. Because at that point I was like, I'm done with you guys. I'm done. Then there's a time I even punched Giraffe. You remember there's Giraffe? Actually, they were the only guys in the class. They were the only boys in the class. Giraffe and Zacchaeus. The rest were ladies. Not ladies. They were girls. So the next time I got furious and aggressive was with Giraffe. I remember I punched him. I don't even remember if I punched him or I did this. I don't know. But I hit him. He fainted. He blacked out. Anyways, eventually that bullying stopped. I don't even remember what made it stop, but also what contributed for it to stop. I remember because my father was traveling in and out of the country, oftenly. He would come with so many interesting things from China, from London. Like, he will bring me so many interesting stuff that are not even, they were not available in the country. Like, those chocolate snacks that are from abroad, not these ones, I don't know, Dairyland or whatever you people call it, Cadbury. They were exotic. So I will come with so many in school, and that is actually where I can say my people pleasing tendency started. It was nurtured, because I felt like if I don't give these people what they want, if I don't give them what they want, if I don't, be of service to them, be of use to them, they will stop talking to me again. They will never, want to be my friend again. And it was not even about me being smart and everything, because guys, I was smart. Remember Tissue, she was the bottom. I don't even know why I even associated myself with that girl. I shouldn't. Anyway, so it came to an end. and they never apologized. They never acknowledged what was going on. But at some point, I got to know exactly what Tissue was doing for that situation to happen, And you know what? I'm grateful. I'm honestly grateful for that experience because it has taught me a lot. So the first thing I learned is be careful who you talk to. Literally, even the smallest of conversations can lead you to a lot of issues. People are crazy out here. People are miserable. Be careful who you talk to. Be careful who you trust. Be careful who you confide in. Because I remember even during that time, Tissue will come to me and I will be like, why are people not talking to me? And then she's like, leave them. Kuma, she's there. Guys, let's not get even emotional. It's not worth it. She's not worth our time. Even today, she's not worth. So I can say that please just have your tribe. Mambo ya marafiki wengi achana nayo. Trust me, I've learned the hard way. Friends are not everything. You can actually survive alone. And I know no man is an island. Make friends with your siblings. Make friends with your brother. Make friends with your parents. Family can be dangerous, but they can also be helpful. Because there are people who know you, there are people who understand you, there are people who will not do, anyway. Please speak out when you are going through something, because if I was able to pick it out early enough and share it, probably the teachers would have handled it, and the constant bullying would not have happened again. Because remember, guys, it didn't happen at once. It was happening in intervals. You will stay like a week without talking to me. The following 2 weeks, they're talking to me. Another week, they're not talking to me again. So if I shared from the first incident, not the first one I said, this first one for silent treatment, if I shared, I would have actually gotten help, I'm sure, because looking at it right now, it was not right and it was not normal. It was not. The next lesson I can say I learned is be your own cheerleader. Never depend on external validation, and that's the space I am in right now, and I'm thankful to God. It has taken me a lot to get to this point. I've realized if you don't cheerlead yourself, nobody will cheerlead you. Nobody. Trust me, nobody. And even if someone does it, you won't accept it because within you are not cheerleading yourself. So it's like, a constant. You see how water and electricity cannot meet. That is what happens when someone who is cheerleading you from the outside and internally you're not cheerleading yourself. It just doesn't work. So be your own cheerleader. Push yourself. Don't allow people to be the ones to determine if you're going to be happy or sad. No. Hell no. Let me show you something. 90% of the time, my phone is usually on this mode. Airplane mode. Guys, nowadays I've learned the power of solidarity. There's nothing as dangerous as someone who knows and can do it all alone. If other people jump into the bandwagon, well and good. But the moment you know you are the bus driver of your life, you are all you have, you are all you can depend on, it's a game changer. Trust me, guys. Another big lesson I have learned that can help us even at our age right now, because I saw most of the people who watch my channel are between 18 and 24, is understand. Please understand. I know sometimes it's difficult because you're just like, why should I? It's not my fault they're suffering. Negative people emit negative energy because inward it's just negativity. If you have love in you, you will emit love. If you have jealousy in you, you will emit jealousy. If you have bullying in you, actually I came to realize bullies have been bullied in one way or another, because I don't understand at that point how 11-year-olds were able to use silent treatment on me and see it could work, and it would make them happy, because all the giggling and laughing, it hurt me a lot, guys. It hurt me a lot, because I was like, aren't these people my friends? Why are they treating me like this? Am I different? It actually put my self-esteem at a low place, my self-confidence. I even had difficulty even moving class to go for meals, because it was so painful. Even other students, because okay, I've come to understand, you might think people care, but they don't even care. But in my head that time, I would literally think everybody in the school now is against me, because it was obvious. Because as a class we'll go together, as the upper class will go for meals together, but I was there standing alone when the others are together talking. Anyway, so people who are, bullies, people who are rumor mongers, people who are abusers, people who are narcissists, those are people who have internal issues, serious internal conflicts. And the moment you realize people who are negative, they are like that, you'll actually leave them alone. You'll actually pity them. You'll actually pray for them, because you'll be like, I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be this miserable, that you have to put other people down for you to feel good. The last point, or the last lesson, because actually I'm running, I'm honestly, guys, I'm tired. I've had a long day at school. 3 classes are not a joke. And yeah, anyway, so the last lesson I can say I learned the hard way, of course, because it's not easy to survive bullying. Some people don't. You have seen cases of even young girls, 9 years, 10 years, committing suicide just because they were bullied in school. It's a serious matter. It's not a joke. There's even the time we had these high schools. I don't want to mention names, of course. You all know, because it was in the newspapers, it was in the broadcasting channels, it was on the internet. Schools whereby bullying has been taken to a higher notch, where students are beating other students and killing them. That is some next level of insanity. That is no way to be tolerated. That is not something you should tolerate at all. At all. As a mother, as a father, as a teacher, as a head teacher, that is not something you should ever tolerate. Ever. Ever. Anyway, so the last lesson I want to tell you guys, sorry for digressing, is even if you feel you are alone, you are not alone. At that point, I feel I had me and I had God, because I didn't have anybody else. I didn't share it with my parents. I didn't share with anybody, guys. It was a lot. I don't even know why I was keeping quiet, because me right now, yo. And also it has taught me determination, because I remember I even worked harder in school. I remember that's another factor in the way they came back talking to me, because they realized she started even to defeat us in exams. We need to be, people are jealous of you, are confused people. Like, focus on your life, focus on your values, on your skills. We are all blessed differently. Okay, you coming to eat up from my space or filling my space with negativity, it will not make you less of a loser. You are still a loser. Okay, so when you see other people doing better than you in life, admire them, learn from them, talk to them and be like, teach me your ways. Not start saying, oh you le. It just shows how backwarded you are and how foolish you are and how lost you are. So it taught me determination. It taught me forgiveness, though this I have come to learn later in life, because to be sincere, I didn't forgive them. It's something that was always at the back of my mind. And she has also taught me strength, because guys, the things I've gone through in life are the reason why right now I'm strong AF. I've been to the depths of hell. You can imagine handling bullying as an 11-year-old, knowing another 11-year-old in another place killed themselves. I can say also thoughts of suicide had crossed my mind, but it wasn't that intrusive. It was just anyway. So let's wind up this video. I think it's long enough. Me spending videos refu because it's a lot of work editing. So thank you so much for watching this. And before I forget, before I forget, there was this sorry guys, I'm kind of jumbled up, I'm tired. So this will like be the third case study. There will be no more, because at this point it's like I'm digging for those memories. Okay, the one I've shared right now is the one that has always been at the back of my mind. I've never forgotten, trust me. And the people who did that to me forgot, because they will meet me nowadays and be like, hey, and I'm like, okay, all right, I see you, you see me, that's enough. We don't have to connect, you know, because snakes don't change. Snakes actually just shed skins. If you know that, if you know, you know. So the third case study, it was just like a minor, because having gone through the silent treatment and everything in primary, in kindergarten, it kind of made me even be able to move past this. Because I remember before I did my KCSE, I was best friends with another girl in our class. Best friends, guys, ne? The teachers knew we were best friends. Students knew we were best friends. But this girl slowly drew away from me, showed me a lot of meanness when she saw that I am doing better than her in exams. And I remember in the back of my mind, I was like, you know what? I don't care. We are about to do KCSE. I will do my best and just leave you. We don't need each other. Imagine that's how I am nowadays. I don't like pushing people in or out of my life. I have an open door policy. Let me tell you. You can come in when you want and you can leave when you want. It's none of my business. I'm too busy focusing on things that are bettering me. You know, you are fanya tu vile unataka kufanya. Leave if you want to leave. Stay if you want to stay. None of my business. And do you know what's the funny thing? After the results came out, I performed better than her. Ha! Wow, see God. Anyway, let's just end this video at here. Me nimechoka. Thank you so much for watching. Ensure you subscribe, ensure you leave a comment, ensure you like, ensure you share. Please guys, I'm on road to 1,000 subscribers and I can't do this alone. I need you, okay? All the best. Always do your best and God will do the rest. Bye.